Hi, this is YC Green. Welcome to my channel. And today I thought I would show you how to make an apple pie. Because with fall and winter on our doorsteps here, where we're going to have Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, people are going to do a lot of baking. So I thought, why not make an apple pie? And this past week I did buy some apples at Aldi. And this is what they look like. Okay, and it says on here, Michigan apple, Gala, crisp, sweet, and juicy, and it's from the North Bay Produce Company. And I don't know how much attention you pay to your produce when you pick it up. Maybe you like organic, or it doesn't matter to you maybe. But people just, you'll take the produce, throw it in the buggy, and you keep on going. I encourage everybody to find out where their produce comes from, how it's grown, where it's grown. I think it's important to do that. And when I started investing, I thought Michigan, well, I used to live in Canada right across from Michigan. And then it caught my attention when it said North Bay Produce Company, because I remember going to a place called North Bay when I was a little girl. And so I thought, well, I wonder if it's all affiliated. And it is. They have 29 produce companies across North America, South America, and Asia and Europe. And they get involved in all kinds of things. They have an outreach program that feeds children in the school systems, and they feed the hungry. And it's a really interesting company. And they have produce year-round. And I just thought it was really, really interesting. And of course, this particular bag came from the northeast lower peninsula of Michigan. And you know the shape of Michigan and the Great Lake, Michigan. So that was really interesting. So I encourage everybody to find out where your stuff comes from. And if they're involved in that many projects, Asia and everywhere, and they're involved in feeding children, chances are they're doing a really good job with your produce too, because they really care. And they're trying to expand and feed other areas of the world too. They already have projects going on for that. So it's really interesting what you can find out. So also, I'm going to be getting my apple pie recipe out of the Better Homes new cookbook. And of course, this has been around since the 1930s, but this particular edition, the copyright was 2003, and the editor is Judith Darling. So I thought that was important for me to say that, because if it comes from a recipe that I did or put my twist on, I let you know. This one I'm getting right out of the cookbook today, and I wanted you to know, I felt it was important for you to know where it came from. So when I come back, I'll be making an apple pie with you. Okay, I'm going to start on this apple pie now. And one of the first things that you need to do is, of course, peel your apples and then slice them. And some people do them in like little triangular chunks, excuse me. And other people slice them, on an angle where they're long pieces. Either one is fine. I'll show you how I do mine. I already peeled all of mine. And I don't have an apple corer, but if you do, please use that. It's so much quicker, because what I have to do is get out that little that little plasticky piece right there. It's not plastic, but you don't want to. It's a little hard piece in the apple that holds the seeds, you know that. And I have to take it out. Okay, so when I get it like this, I just take it and I slice mine on the side like this. So the pieces look like that, like little half moons. Okay? And then I throw it in my bowl. And of course I already did all the other ones, because how many half moons do you want to see me cut up, right? But anyway, I just go around the whole apple like that, and I make sure there's none of those any part of the core in there, and I just cut them all on an angle like that. And of course you want to go as close as you can to get as much of the apple as you can, so you will have to take out some parts of the core before moving on. And don't worry about if you get a little bit of, let's say there's a little sliver of apple skin still on. Don't freak out by that. That just means, hey, you're cutting up real apples. People say, where's this? What's this in your pie? Well, hey, I make it with real apples, people. There you go. So, and then, of course, you're left, you know, with the core. You just get rid of those or put them in your mulch pile, whatever you need to do there. Okay, and I use this wooden board for my vegetables and produce, a different one for my meat. Let's put this aside. Okay, so what we have here is I have 8 small apples cut up. If yours are larger, you may be able to do 6, you know. And let's go ahead and we're going to put the spices on it so that this can start making its own juice while you're making your pie crust. And that's usually how the order that people do it in case you haven't made one before. Of course, I brought my glasses because I'm at that age where all of a sudden I can't see. Okay, so this is about 6 cups, about 2 1/4 pounds of sliced apples. And because this is not, these are Gala apples, and they're not really tart apples like Granny Smith, you want to add a little bit of lemon juice. And it's going to be a tablespoon. So we'll go ahead and add a tablespoon of lemon juice. Like that. Okay. And then 3/4 cup of granulated white sugar. So I leave my cup in here. There you go, that's about 3/4 cup. Seems like a lot, doesn't it? And if your apples are sweet, these actually are, they're sweet apples. I could have put less if you want, you know what I mean. Okay. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and this is fresh cinnamon. It comes from Aldi. It's nice. Let's see, 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. And of course, guess what? It's heaping a little bit. We love cinnamon. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to stress out about it. Okay, and then we got 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and this ground nutmeg came from Food Line. And I don't have 1/8 teaspoon, but I use my 1/4 one, and I just try to estimate half of that. And nothing has to be perfect. Pies aren't perfect. People aren't perfect. There you go. Okay. And that's it. And some people put 1/3 cup of dried cranberries, like if this was the holidays or something, but I'm not going to do that. And we don't put that in our apple pie. We just like regular apple pie. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stir this. And then, so the spices and the sugar, you know, will bring out all the wonderful juices in these Gala apples. You just give it a quick stir and then set this aside so that you can make your pie crust. It already smells really good. I mean, if you had to sit down and eat this like this, you actually could do it, but of course we want to see what our pie looks like, right? Cinnamon and apples, wow. Very nice. Some of the slices want to stick together, and I want to make sure they get coated, you know? Okay. That's good. That's pretty good. They've all got a little bit of the sugar and spices on them. I'll set it aside. Okay, now we're going to move on to doing our pie crust. And I've already cleaned off this counter. Then, you know, before you start working, you do that. And let's go to where we have our pie crust in the book. And this is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And of course, you know, I always sift it up, you know, put it through the air, like really stir it really good, make it nice and fluffy before you put it in your bowl. Okay, and then the next ingredient is 3/4 teaspoon of salt. This is for a double crust pie, not a single, because you're going to have a bottom and a lid atop. Okay, so 3/4 teaspoon of salt. it is hot already in South Carolina. I don't think that we're gonna I think we're gonna go from summer to winter. Okay. Be nice if we could have a fall, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Okay, and I just estimate again, I don't have a 3/4, I just do most of a teaspoon, which is 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And then 2/3, it says 2/3 cup of shortening. Well, let me tell you about shortening. Shortening is hydrogenated. It's not the best thing for you. You know that if you watch anything like Dr. Oz show, anything like that, or you've been reading a lot of health magazines lately. So I'm going to use butter. If you prefer to use your shortening, by all means, you go ahead and do that. And I know some people, like south of the border, they're using lard, which, you know, is also natural. You just have to be careful. But this is, it's butter, people, and it's not hydrogenated. And again, it is 2/3. You see, how's that work? This is, yeah, 2/3 cup, and it looks like a lot, doesn't it? But what it is, I cut it up because it takes, it's 1/3 is like 5 1/3 of these tablespoons, so you have to do it twice, you know, that's why it looks like so much. Okay, and then you mix it a bit, and once it gets a little crumbly like peas, then you add in 8 to 10 tablespoons of cold water. Okay, so you want to start to mix your butter into your flour and your salt. Okay, let's see what it looks like here. And I do have dough hooks that I use sometimes on my beaters for this. And then sometimes I just use my clean hands, because this is my family, and you start mixing it up like this. Okay? And you'll see eventually this flour and salt's going to mix into this butter, and it's going to look like little pea crumbles, little pea size shaped crumbles. And it doesn't take very long. You just keep on mixing that butter. The butter was ice cold, so you know it takes a little bit of work if you do it this way, but it happens quickly, you'll see. And the water that you use for this has to be ice cold. And we always have ice cold bottled water on hand, but if you don't, you're going to want to take some water and put it in some ice right now, because I'm telling you right now, the success of your pie crust depends on cold water. It has to be cold, or it's not going to turn out, and you're going to be very, very frustrated, or you're going to go to lift up your dough to put it on your pie plate, and it's just going to fall apart. And you're going to say, well, how come I did everything they said to do? How come it didn't turn out? That's the secret. Ice cold water. So take these glasses off when I'm not reading, because it's warm in here already. Okay. All right, you see how it's getting really crumbly? See all the chunks in there? And I mean it is. See how it's getting, like, it's starting to pack a bit. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put in some water. Okay? And I have a napkin here. It'll be all right if your hands are messy. Messy is messy, messy. Okay. Now, and it's, like I said, I'm never exact. Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3. And you can do a little bit at a time. There's 4. Let's mix it and see what happens. I got dough everywhere. Because you may, some days you're going to, depending on the humidity and, you know, the air and everything and the flour that you're dealing with, some days you're going to need more ice cold water than others. This is coming together quite quickly. And you think it's, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's 100% humidity in South Carolina right now. And you think I'm not, look at this. You see how quick that came together? That's how humid it is here. I may not need the 8 to 10 tablespoons of water. That's how humid it is here. Like, goodness gracious. Whew. Try to pick a really, really cold day if you can to do pies. This is amazing to me. We do have rain that's supposed to come between today and tomorrow. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? So I'm going to do just a little bit. And then I'm going to try to roll it out. And this is quite literally half the amount of water that I would normally use. I mean, I'm absolutely flabbergasted right now. With the little amount that I used, it's already come together. Look at this. It's already in a ball. Okay? This is amazing. So you're going to put flour down on your counter to roll it out. Let me put this bowl aside. Okay, and this aside, and get all this up. It's all flour and pie crust anyway. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Okay. And because you have, this is a double crust pie, and you have, this is your top and your bottom, you need to cut it in half because, you know, you're going to need some. Let's go ahead and cut it, because I'm going to need some for the top crust too. We'll use this part for the top crust. Okay? And let me get my flour. Okay, and you want to sprinkle it down here on your surface. Okay, and knead it a little bit. You don't need to knead it too much, but you want a flaky pie crust if you can. You know? I don't want to overwork the dough either, though. Let's see if we can roll it. And if we can't, we'll knead it some more and we'll try again. And I always go like this so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin. Okay. Turn it over. You want to constantly make it round. Turn it. And the whole time, again, you're making it round. Flip it over so it doesn't stick to your counter. A lot of pies in my house growing up. Okay, so this is, you see how much bigger it is than the, so you know it's going to be able to go up the sides, you know. So you fold it like this. So you can always wipe the bottom of this off. And then you go like this, and you go like that. That's it. Like that, see? Like that. Flip it over. There you go. Like that. Okay. And then you get your apples. Give it a quick stir again, because a lot of that beautiful syrup that your sweet apples are making is gone to the bottom. Okay, and let me check that recipe. Now that we're done the pie crust, we'll move that over to this one. Yeah, you want to put a couple tablespoons of flour in this, because you're going to want it to thicken into a nice glaze like sauce while it's cooking in the oven. So there's one, and here's two. And some people put little dollops of butter too, you know what I mean? But I got so much butter in my pie crust, I'm not going to stress about that. Okay. And this will thicken it enough to where when you go to, oh, it's going to be so good. It won't be too watery, you know, with the flour in it. Okay, here we go. You just pour it all in there. And this is a deep dish pot pie. It's a deep dish apple pie. I make pot pie too, but I usually do those are square and rectangle when I do those. Okay. Get everything out of the way here. And just spread it out. You know what I mean? Like that. See, look at how good this looks already. It looks nice. And now we're going to need our top crust. And you're going to do the same thing. Let's just set this aside. And you're going to do the same thing with this. You knead it just a little bit and then roll it on out. And I get flour all over me. That's what I do in the kitchen. You've seen that before. I like floury messes. It shows progress is being made. Okay, here we go. Keep it round. And I know I have people in my family that can make pies better than me, so they're probably cringing right now. But I'm trying. And my family they like my pies. But oh, my mom and my meme, oh, yeah, that's some good pies. I mean, oh, see how it's tearing a little bit? Just piece it back together like a Band-Aid. Don't stress about it. Okay, and this looks pretty good. So you just fold it over, bring your pie back. Like I said, you have to wipe the flour off the bottom of it before you put it in the oven. And then you go like that. Look at that. That is beautiful. Okay. And I'm going to show you a trick that I do with a wooden spoon, and I'll be right back. Okay. First of all, you can, if you have too much excess, just cut it off the bottom. You can put preserves or something in it, make a little tartlet. My mom used to do that when we were young. You know, the pies might be waiting on the holidays for company, but she always had leftovers to make little tarts with preserves in it. And we wonder why we got pounds. Okay. Sorry, I have to wipe my face. I apologize for that. Now that you trimmed out, I gotta trim off this side too. You don't want it too much, you know what I mean? Unless you just like really, really thick pie crust all the way around your pie. And like I said, this can be used for something else. Okay. So, really quick. Just take it like this, the two pieces together, and fold it under. Just go all the way around, fold it under. Fold it under. And just keep on going. Okay. Now, while I do this, I'll tell you what. My husband likes his apple pie with a melted cheese slice on it and a big dollop of vanilla ice cream. Some people, they like whip topping. No, whipping cream that you put the beaters on for and everything. But I like mine cold out of the fridge with nothing on it. I don't even have to have mine hot. Okay. Now, let's see here. Watch this. Some people, if you're not sure what design to do, you can do this. You can just, go like that. You've seen pot pies in the store with the little fork design all the way around it. Or you can do my design. I like a fluted edge. And if you haven't studied pie crust, you may not know about this. You take your your pinchers, and you go flute. See that flute? You go flute. It's a fluted edge, and you just go all the way around like that, and it makes it really, really pretty. It's a fluted edge. And I mean, you could take your time. You could do a better job than I'm doing right now. And around the holidays, I actually will sit there forever and take my time and do everything perfect. But I'm just trying to show you the basics of how I do it right now. You know, you can be more fussy on your own when you're taking your time and listening to Christmas music or whatever you want to do. Okay. And look at, let's see. There you go. And you just flute it all the way around. It makes a design that you think, well, I wonder what factory did that. It's not a factory. It's you. Okay. I know, hey, there's some beautiful pie makers out there right now, and they're probably just cringing, but this is how we do ours. And it looks homemade. Everybody likes it here. And then this part is great because it gives you the opportunity to do any design you want. You make like little air holes in it for when the pie's really piping hot and you're allowing steam to escape. And I sometimes just do little slits in it. Sometimes I just punch it with the fork a few times. Or you can do, you know, like this and like that. And like that, and make like a little windmill design, you know, that's turning and twisting like a little tornado, like that. And yeah, you could leave it like that, or you can even put some fork designs in between that. This is your opportunity to get artistic and do the design that you want. And there's the pie, and I will show it to you when it comes out of the oven. The pie came out of the oven. It's all baked. You should see how beautiful it is. And I wish that you could smell this house right now. Oh my goodness, does it ever smell great in here. And that's baked apple pie. And the thing I wanted to tell you is that you have to, this one is baked at 375 for 1 hour. And you put, you know, butter burns, and this is made with butter. So you put the foil over it just loosely, it doesn't have to be tight, for 40 minutes. And then you take the foil off for 20 minutes. And that's it. And if you go like this, and it moves like that, it's definitely done. You see how pretty that is. Even with my little shabby design, it's pretty. And it's going to taste really good. So I hope that you get a chance to bake your own apple pie.